What happens when the gold standard of treatment insomnia, CBTI, fails completely? Hi, I'm Doron Lazarus, integrative sleep coach and founder of the Sleep Coach Academy, and I want to discuss a topic with you today that's not often spoken about. Because in the world of psychology and medicine, when you have insomnia, if you want to do things naturally, they tend to point you the direction of CBTI, cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. They tout it as the gold standard of insomnia treatment, and they believe that it should work for everybody. And when I was studying to be a sleep coach, that's how we were taught. It was CBTI or bust. If you just had the right regimen of cognitive behavioral therapy, it would for sure work. It took me the reality of starting to work with clients to realize that CBTI was not the end-all of holistic sleep treatments, and there's a lot that can be done even if CBTI fails. Let's first start off by speaking about what is CBTI. It essentially rests on three pillars. It believes that in order to conquer your insomnia, you need to be able to have strict rules around bedtime. You need to limit your caffeine and your screen time, especially at night. You need to have a wind down time and go to bed and wake up time every single day. It believes that in fact we should squeeze your sleep window, so as opposed to sleeping maybe 8 or 9 hours in bed, we should cut it down to 5 or 6 to really condense your sleep cycle. The second pillar of CBTI are relaxation techniques, breathing techniques, muscle relaxation, all sorts of things to do to get your mind and body in the mood of sleep. And the last third pillar of CBTI is the thought challenge. If you have thoughts like, oh my gosh, what happens if I don't sleep tonight, or I can't sleep without my sleeping pills, you should logically challenge those thoughts and then replace them. And truth be told, there is a lot of good that CBTI has brought to the world. For many people, the combination of tools that it brings can be the relief that they're looking for. But if you scratch the surface a little bit deeper and look at the actual numbers that CBTI is toting, it never claims to be effective more than approximately 70% of the time. That means 30% of insomniacs that are seeking out the gold standard treatment fail completely. And if you know the numbers of insomnia in America and every country, that is millions of people that have been failed by this system. They also don't share the statistics of those who rebound in a month, 6 months, a year, or 5 years. Many of those people that failed out of CBTI programs come to my practice looking for something more. And I see firsthand every day people that CBTI did not work for. In fact, I'm working with a client right now that went to a top CBTI therapist in New York for 2 years, consistently following every one of her directions, and never got any relief with her sleep issue. And I think it's very dangerous when the medical and psychological world tout this as the gold standard, when in reality, there's a lot more that can be done for people that do not find CBTI effective. In fact, for many of the clients I deal with, they describe to me that CBTI was actually anxiety provoking. Having all of those rules and regulation, keeping a sleep journal every night, making it so rigid and forced, actually exacerbates the sense of fear, panic, and the insomnia continues to set in. That doesn't mean to say that I never practice CBTI. For some people, they need that structure and discipline in their sleep cycle to make it a success. But I have moved my practice away from the CBTI model for the vast majority of my clients for the following two reasons. Number one, it doesn't really address the underlying health issues, the biochemical imbalances that can cause sleep issues. It kind of assumes that all sleep issues are the same, and if you just are able to get your sleep hygiene aligned, that everything will fall back in place, which in my experience is not the case. And the second reason that I think it fails for many people is that it assumes that they have a problem with their sleep hygiene and that somehow they can outthink their thoughts. But for many of the clients that come to my practice, they actually are over-obsessed about sleep hygiene. They're too rigid, too disciplined, and their ability to challenge their thoughts in their own head sends their mind looping and racing throughout the day and night. For many of the clients, the first thing I do is I take away all of those rules and rigidity. We go back to sleeping naturally, without the pressure and without the journals, without all of the rules and regulations. Sleep is supposed to be natural and fun, and many people can lose that in the process. The last major challenge that I see with CBTI is it does not work on the subconscious mind. As opposed to hypnosis in the way that we practice it goes to the root of where those negative thoughts and feelings are coming from. CBTI just teaches you to challenge them from an intellectual point of view. But truth be told, if you could outthink your thoughts, you would have a long time ago. Many of my clients are very smart, analytical people, and they try to get into their own head and outsmart their own own mind. But that's not how things work. If you know anything about the subconscious mind, it's actually more similar to a little child. And the more you try to use logic and rational thinking against it, the more it gets confused and scared. And so by rewriting that script, being able to speak the language of that inner child and guide it and raise it up out of those thoughts and feelings of fear and panic, people can end their cycle of insomnia for good. What do you think? Have you tried CBTI and seen it fail or succeed? What were the best parts of CBTI that you found when you practice it? And if you are still looking for your customized sleep solution, something that can think outside the box and work with you, mind, body, and soul, I'll go ahead and leave a link to my calendar below where we can set up a free consultation and I can learn more about what's gone right and wrong for you in the past and give you a clear journey forward of how to get your sleep back every single night. This has been Doron Lazarus with the Sleep Coach Academy, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.